Welcome back. My name is Jessica, if you haven't seen me before, and I am from Green Fever SA. You can go check us over on Instagram. I will put the handle down below. That's basically my sister and I's account for plants. We both share the same interest and the same hobby and love for plants. Have a cool topic to talk about. It's something very new for me and very different. It is this cool Rex Begonia. So, I just lost a flower off of it. Oh, look how cool it is. Oopsie. So this really cool Rex Begonia, I'm not 100% sure on which one it is in terms of the pattern that it has, but I think from the research that I've done, because it wasn't named, it just said Begonia Rex, I think it's called a strawberry and chocolate or chocolate and strawberries. It's got this cool dark red brown color and then these really beautiful green and red pops of little dots of color on the leaf. And this is my very first begonia, and I've only owned it for since December, and we are now in February, so not for very long. I've only had it for 3 months. The thing about this plant that is really cool, and what I'm going to be talking about today, is how to propagate a Rex Begonia specifically. And the reason I learned how to propagate it is because when I brought it home, apparently they're really difficult to look after and most people kill them. So I thought to myself, you know what, let me try immediately. Like the day I brought it home, I tried to propagate it. I wanted to do it as sort of like insurance so that if I ended up killing this plant, I at least had some propagations on the go that I could hopefully look after, and maybe I would learn from this plant and not kill the propagations. But I'm so proud of myself. I have not killed this plant yet. I know it's only 3 months, but it does seem to be doing quite well. The biggest tip that I can give is it does like water, but I don't water it until it starts to show. So I watered this yesterday. He does look slightly droopy, but he goes quite a bit droopier when he wants water, specifically on the top. If you look at the top, he looks quite nice and full, whereas when he starts to droop, he looks a little bit sparse in the front because obviously all the foliage is falling off to the side. He also is in an unglazed cement concrete pot that I made myself, and so this does absorb water like a terracotta pot would. So I think I've found a pretty good balance with this guy in terms of if I do accidentally sort of maybe overwater it, the pot sort of sorts that situation out for me. I would suggest if you're getting a Begonia Rex and it's the first time you've owned one, to do the same. At least takes off a little bit of the pressure and the stress on trying to keep these alive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a leaf or two. Normally people suggest cutting off the nicest leaf so that you get like a good start or whatever you. But I think I'm going to cut off the ugliest leaves because I would like to cut those off anyway. I'm going to cut off this guy because he's quite crispy. So this guy is pretty crispy looking on the end there, so we're going to use him. And then there's another one that's slightly crispy, but it's not too bad. And it's this big guy over here. Just bear in mind these are scissors that I have cleaned and sanitized and all of that with some rubbing alcohol. And so this is the second leaf that I'm going to use, not as crispy as the other one, but this was the only really super crispy one. That one's also a tiny bit crispy, but maybe I should have taken, anyway, doesn't matter. So then the cool thing about this is, as you can see over here, you can see all these little veins. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut off around the petiole where you can see the veins are. They say you can also just break them. Maybe I should do one of each, because I did do one of each the last time I did it. So this one I'm going to cut and sort of as close to the petiole as possible. Part over here, each little vein that you can see over here starts to grow its own plant. And so I quite like the idea of having it quite close together so that it grows a whole bunch right next to each other, so that you get like a full looking plant as it's starting to grow, rather than something that's sparse. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to pop it in the soil the right way up, as if it's a normal leaf. So like that. We just dig a little bit of a hole. Okay, so we just dig a bit of a hole and then cover up that little piece. Just like that. Super, super simple. Nothing complicated at all. I'll show you some close-ups of it just now. And then this little guy, I don't know if it really does anything or not, but I like to just chop him off and also cover it up in the same sort of position, just to get more little flowers. Then the second method, I'm just going to chop off the stem quite close, is you just break at each little point by folding it inwards. You can also do this with a craft knife, like a blade, and you could just like score it. I've seen a few people do that as well, and that seems to work quite well. Just so that you've got, I don't even know if you'll be able to see, just so that you've got these sort of little breaks in it, which you can't really see. And then I'm going to do the same thing and plant it the same way. And then I'm just going to plant it in, water it. And then they do like quite a bit of water and to be kept moist. The soil doesn't really like to dry. It doesn't really like the soil to dry out too much. So that's something that you just got to bear in mind. And so the way that I sort of combat that is by putting it in my prop box. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I haven't actually watered them, so they're not looking, as you can see, they hang in quite a bit. But these two are two leaves that I did in the same way that you've just seen now. So they basically do the same thing. This one, I had cut it really close to the stem, and as you can see, all of them have grown like quite nice and close to each other. And this one, I cut it a lot further around the stem because I actually did the break method, but quite far from where the petiole is. And as you can see, like it's very sparse, which will be fine as it grows up. I just feel like for now it doesn't look the prettiest. But this has only been 3 months. It's starting, you know, as you can see, it's got some beautiful new little leaves coming up, so it's still happy and growing. These both need watering, so you can see specifically by this one that what I mean by how much it droops. I'm going to water these guys. I'd also tried this method with a cup. So you just you cut off a whole petiole and stick it in a cup, and it works. I mean, look, there's loads of growth, but I don't know what to do with it now. Like, I don't know where to cut it or how to plant it because it's like awkward. So here you can see it's actually growing really, really well. If you look quite close over there, and that's where this new little leaf is coming from. So I don't know if I should like just stick the whole thing in soil. I don't know, because then I'm gonna obviously cover all these up, but this is where all the root is. I don't know how to plant this. Just on the fact of how easy it is to propagate these guys and how cool they are to propagate, like you don't need a node, you just need a leaf. I might get a little bit more into the Begonia Rexes. If you guys do have any tips on looking after Begonia Rexes or begonias just in general, please do leave them in the comments below. And so that is the end of this video. That is how easy it is to propagate a Begonia Rex. I definitely suggest next time you see a Begonia Rex that you do love, just bite the bullets, give it a bash and propagate some of your Begonia Rexes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video, then please do hit that like button. If you do enjoy listening to me babble about plants, then do consider subscribing. It really helps my channel grow and encourages me to keep making these videos. I am actually trying very hard to stick to a schedule, and by schedule I mean I'm trying really hard to post every Friday afternoon at around 4 o'clock. I'm going to be trying to post a lot more regularly and a lot more frequently, so you guys can hopefully find me every Friday at 4. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time.